Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Oh, jeez.
Whoa. Rami, your acts of aggression are unwarranted at this point. But
Sorry,
go
sorry,
ahead,
Your
let's
Honor.
Get your ass up here and do your thing.
Ladies and gentlemen of the courts, my client is not guilty. Justice was not served in this courtroom when a bench trial took place before with similar facts. I hope justice is done this time.
Angel, I feel like we've
This
heard
is
this.
a very linear
We've heard this exact opening before.
case.
I don't think
Okay.
I think he only has one. So.
To establish that my client here criminally possessed a government-issued firearm, there are two very legal, concrete concepts that need to be taken place. One is constructive possession. Now, people are going to ask, well, what is constructive possession? Right? Let me answer that for you guys, okay? To prove constructive possession, the prosecution needs to establish two elements, okay? Knowledge of my client knowing that the item was in his presence, and the ability to maintain control over that item. Now, if you can't prove one or the other or both, then my client needs to be acquitted of these charges and get back to serving the community as a judge. Next is the legal concept of mens rea. In Latin, it means guilty mind. Okay? This requires not just intentionally committing an act, as many people intentionally commit acts every day. Now, the thing is, you have intentionality versus an accident or a slip of the tongue or falling downstairs are different things. Mens rea is not mere intent, though it is often simplified as such by the simpleton minds of fools. It is the intention or knowledge of wrongdoing that the act is wrong that constitutes part of a crime, as opposed to the action or conduct of the accused. One would, in simpler terms, say a guilty act. In order to criminally possess a firearm, you need to do something criminal, right? Now, if these elements are not met, this entire judicial system would be a farcical excuse for kangaroo court to convict my client. That is all, Your Honor.
Well, son, that's why we're here, frankly, is to determine guilt or if there is not enough evidence of doing so. Now, frankly, kangaroo court is an egregious accusation.
Yeah, good job,
Just
bro.
going to put it out there. I hope to God that that is not how you think that we operate. I don't do it that way.
Yes, Your Honor, of course. Yes, Your Honor. Not at all, Your Honor.
You have known me way too long to know that I don't fuck around in the courthouse.
Oh, of course, Your Honor. Of course.
Thank you.
I have another client that has dealt with the same thing, Your Honor, and was found guilty.
Oh.
Okay, no, I didn't say that. Never mind. Just forget it. Let's keep going.
Oh, thank you.
It's right.
Let's just strike that moment.
Your Honor, defense moves the motion to strike. Counselor.
Yeah. The last sentence.
Facts not in evidence. We're
Facts
gonna.
not in evidence. Let's just. No. We don't need that in the record. No.
Yeah, okay. No, thank you. I need that copy.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna cook. We're gonna. You see this team right here? This is like O.J. Simpson's lawyer team
What
right
are you
here.
making tonight, man?
Jesus.
Oh, you're not helping right now, Rob. I'm just gonna let you know that.
And I'm pretty sure he's gonna get found guilty. Don't worry, guys.
All righty.
So he is guilty.
Good job, Rob. Good job.
That cannot be determined at this point. It's not jumped to any conclusions.
Of course, Your Honor. That is what I'm asking your court.
The quote has been placed in the record.
Well, thank you. Prosecution.
Yes,
Would you
Your
like to
Honor.
begin calling your first witnesses?
Certainly would. The people call Officer DeGong to the stand.
Officer Flop Dugong, could you go ahead and approach and Dingle Fan?
Yes, man.
Just ensure that they have been sworn in for me, would you?
Hey, man, have you been sworn in?
Yes, Mr. Dingle.
Cool.
I have.
He's been sworn in, Your Honor.
Hey, lovely. Perfect. Go ahead, take a seat there.
Yeah, I'd love to. This chair's heavy as shit. Stand by.
May I proceed, Judge?
But I've sent a lot of tips in.
Gossip Girl is fucking on top of this.
I'm offering a $5,000 reward for the identity of Gossip Girl.
Cool. I'm Gossip Girl. Please pay me.
Your Honor?
Go ahead.
Oh,
So,
thank
what'd
you.
you say?
I was just making sure there
I'm cooking. Hold on.
How's it going?
Good to go? Well, but first off, if you could, just for court record, state your name for me.
My name, Your Honor?
Yes.
Oh, certainly. Oliver Hall.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hall. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. How you doing today, Officer Gong?
It's an early morning. Have my coffee, but overall pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing
Morning.
Thank you for asking.
Jesus.
Where are you currently employed at?
The LSPD, the Los Santos Police Department.
Hold on one second.
Your Honor, can
I mean, I only
Robbie
woke up
please?
about
He's
30
doing the
minutes
same
ago.
shit as last time.
Yeah, I'm just
Get back
standing
to
in the
the
courtroom.
AMC.
What's
He
wrong?
has
I'm
restless
standing over
leg
here.
syndrome, Your
I don't
Honor. He
understand.
needs to stand. It's a medical condition.
I'm literally just
Something
hanging out here.
back
I don't know.
and
What am I doing
forth.
wrong?
You understand,
Just
Your
go
Honor,
ahead and
is
take a
some
seat.
things
Not
that
your turn there, not your monkeys, not your
Sounds
turn.
good.
Go ahead.
Sounds good.
Please take a seat.
Yes, he is one of the olds. He's on the list.
All right. We'll go with that.
Would
Mr.
you
Hall,
like
go
me
ahead.
to re-answer my question, Your Honor?
Yes.
I believe the question was where I was employed. It's the Los Santos Police Department.
Thank you, Officer Gong. And were you working on the 6th of January, 2024?
Indeed, I was, Oliver.
All right. Now, in the early hours of that day, did you respond to any 911
Oh
calls?
my god.
I'm sorry. Could you re-ask the question?
No, in the early hours, approximately 12:20 in the morning, did you respond to any 911
Max.
calls?
How you
I
doing?
did respond to a call up on just south of Sandy Shores. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the road. I do apologize.
Certainly. All right. Listen, if I could, I'd like you to take a look at the People's A.
Give me just a second to pull that up.
Once you have that up, I'd like you to look at the attached evidence. It's going to be the first one labeled as the dispatch calls.
Yes, I do have that up.
All right. And are you familiar with what that depicts?
Yes. Would you
How
like
are
me
you
to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
How are you familiar with that image?
Sure. So, we initially started to respond to reported gunshots off of Joshua Road. Due to the fact that we were coming from the city and making our way up north, it took us a couple minutes to make our response. I'd probably say roughly a minute to 2 minutes from the time we left the city limits to Los Santos Freeway. In that time, we received a call of a deadly weapon as well as a vehicle fleeing. And I'm going to say about 15-20 seconds before arriving on scene, we received a call for a 1047, which is also known as an injured person.
And what did you see once you got on the scene?
I'm sorry, Oliver, you might have to clear your throat. Could you re-ask your question?
Certainly. See once you arrived on the scene.
Here, one more time.
He's asking what you saw when you arrived on the scene.
When I arrived on the scene, I saw one injured party who was on the ground, who appeared incapacitated. I did do a quick check to see if anyone was around. I didn't see anything, and I immediately tended to wounds on the injured.
And did you or any other officers secure the scene?
I did an initial secure. The other officer who was with me did clear the area to ensure safety of the scene, if that's what you're asking.
And what happened after the scene was secured?
Yeah, it's just a medical report in there. There's no psychiatric.
I had called EMS while waiting based on the calls that we received. I did perform a standard GSR test on the injured party.
If I can clarify, what is a GSR test?
It is a gunshot residue test.
What does that indicate?
Just ask that question again. I apologize.
Oh, certainly. What does a gunshot residue test indicate?
It indicates if there's any residue of gunpowder on an individual's hands.
So whether or not they shot a firearm?
You could say that, yeah.
And so you perform the test. What happened then?
At that point, the test came back positive. From there, I performed a frisk of the individual where I did feel a bulge. Feeling that bulge, I did check for only that bulge, in which I found a PD-issued block.
Identify the individual that you tested?
Yes. When I arrived on scene, I was able to see that it was a one Judge Murphy Braun.
Let's see. And if I could, again, I'd like you to look at the People's A. If you could, again, at the bottom of that report, look at the attached exhibits and look at the one marked as 4, the GSR test.
Okay.
All right. And do you recognize that piece of evidence?
I do. I was the one that conducted the GSR test.
How's that cheating, man?
GSR
Shut up.
test, positive GSR test of the defendant.
Objection asked and answered.
Could you let him finish the question there? I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble.
I
actually
thought I did, Your Honor.
in
My
my
apologies.
years, he
did.
was
He did
done
finish
with
the
a
question.
question, and we object on asked
Your
and
Honor,
answered.
One more time, what was the question? I understand.
question-
Just I need just one person talking. That's it.
Yeah, the question was he was asking whether or not the GSR test, if it was the GSR test of the defendant.
Alrighty. The objection was that was asked and answered. Yes.
Yes,
Correct.
Your Honor.
Hey, well, you asked what was the GSR test, and then you asked the firearm. You didn't say that you just identified and conducted the GSR test on that individual. There was an individual. It's just the extension of it. Yes, it's asked and answered, but frankly, you already have it there. Would you like to confirm it? Sure. I'll allow the question. It's no big deal.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes. Now, what happened after you conducted the search, Dr. Gong?
Are you referring to right after we grabbed the firearm? We documented it on his person. I had grabbed the firearm and I had placed Murphy Braun in cuffs. At about the same time I placed him in cuffs, EMS were on scene to treat.
If I can, I want to back up a bit. Did you find anything else through the course of that search?
No, nothing that was very pressing at that time.
Okay. And if I can, describe the firearm that you found.
Sure. It was a PD-issued firearm. I believe it was a Glock 19. As far as I'm aware, and as far as I believe most people are aware, those are only issued to sworn police officers within the Los Santos Police Department.
Certainly. And at the time of incident, were you aware of the defendant's occupation?
Yes, I was.
Do you work for the Los Santos Police Department?
No, he does not.
All right. And at the time of incident, did the defendant have a weapons license, to your knowledge?
Guys,
I
guys,
don't believe
it's
he did,
uneven
but
because
I'm
it's
gonna be
it's
honest with you,
arts.
For the record, I honestly do not recall in full.
Was there any lawful cause for the defendant to possess that firearm?
Objection calls for legal conclusion.
Officer Gong?
Hey, this is your chance to go ahead and rebut that, my friend.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear any objection, Your Honor.
There was an objection saying that calls for legal conclusion there.
Yeah, of course. I'm not asking the witness to come to a legal conclusion. I'm asking him to come to a conclusion based on his experience as an officer. If there was any reason that the department
one
would have
color.
issued the defendant that firearm, or for him to have it.
No, it's red lines.
Your Honor, I also want to point out, Oliver is playing stupid here, respectfully. He told the...
Sir,
Go ahead.
respectfully and stupid in the same sentence are not respectful. And it was back and forth already. If you had something else to add to that, you would have done so with, is that you, Miss Sanders?
Yes,
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
When she asked or objected.
Of course.
I don't need the color commentary there, Rami.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Rami, and I actually heard what you said there.
Hey,
Your Honor, he's out of control.
why you on my dick, Leo? Why you on my dick?
He's out of control. He needs contempt.
Yeah, Oliver is out of control. He's
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa!
Your Honor,
Objection, Your Honor.
respectively-
Respectfully, we would ask that you be the one.
Hey, order. First off, Mr. Slacks, that is inappropriate for you to suggest. This is my courtroom, not yours.
Yeah, that's all I was gonna say.
My
You
apologies.
understand that? My jurisdiction are these four walls. Your jurisdiction is outside of here. Do not come in here suggesting what I do and do not do. Frankly,
We're very sorry, Your
that
Honor.
is
That-
extremely
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
disrespectful.
My apologies. I let my emotions get the best of me.
Oh. You
Your Honor,
seem
can
very
we have a
relaxed
motion
over there.
to remove him from the courtroom? He's been
No.
disrespectful from the start to the courtroom.
Hey,
To the
I'll
court.
remove both of you in a minute. Shut the hell up.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
For the objection, I'm going to go ahead and overrule the objection. Go ahead and continue asking the question.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You need me to repeat that after the God?
Please do, just for the court record.
Is there any reason for the defendant to have that firearm on his person?
No, there was not.
Clarify. Did you investigate the scene?
We did do a brief investigation of the scene. Unfortunately, found no physical evidence that would have sustained much, unfortunately.
What about witnesses?
No witnesses on the scene on the time of our arrival.
And did you find any evidence that witnesses had been on the scene?
Go get him.
We had the vehicle fleeing, and somebody had called in.
I'm cooking.
The initial shots fired. Unfortunately, as we did arrive on scene, like I stated before, there were no witnesses for us to discuss and speak with at the actual scene on Joshua.
I want to clarify. Did anyone follow up with a 911 call reporting that leaving scene?
I can't state for other officers.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
In what way is that leading?
That's not leading at all.
He's given the answer in the question.
He asked, did anyone follow up with a 911 call afterwards? That is not in regards to Mr. Flop going ahead and calling his own 911 in. That's a very open question where anybody possibly can and is open to interpretation afterwards.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Uh-huh.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Judge.
Sure.
Don't worry. He's on the Midsommar.
My job on that scene, I can't speak for other officers as to the extent of their investigation. But I will state that for me on scene, my goal was to ensure the safety of Murphy Braun.
Guys, I can't.
Until EMS.
It's
were
too
able
much to
get on
draw.
scene.
I'm about to go insane.
By the time EMS had left the scene, I had followed them. I did not want to leave Murphy Braun out of my sight. He was my person to process at that point, so he was my responsibility.
All right. And based on your investigation, what evidence the vehicle had actually been on the scene?
Technically, no. We didn't see the vehicle on scene. There's no way to prove that it was directly on scene.
Same question. So you have a report of a robbery, right?
I wish I could understand all of it.
I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
I can't understand.
Yeah,
You need to go
certainly.
ahead and repeat that.
There was a 911 call reporting a robbery on the scene. Isn't that
Yes.
right? Okay.
It was directly in the area. Yes.
And was there any evidence that the robbery had taken place on that scene?
No. Like stated before, there was no physical evidence to actually state otherwise.
I don't think any of the objections here for any of these questions would matter anyway, because it's not like it's gaining any advantage for us.
I agree. I agree. There's no point in objecting right
Did you
now.
conduct a further investigation as to
You're
what
really only going to
happened?
object when they try to cross examine Murphy.
I'm gonna need you to ask it again, Oliver. I'm sorry.
Oliver, can you take a mumble pill or something? Every time you open your mouth. it's hard to
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
you.
I would ask
I kind
the
of need to
same,
understand what you're
please.
saying.
Yeah, no, we can't understand a single word he's saying over here.
If it does become an issue with the question, make sure that you all ask on the defendant's side to repeat the question if you could. Please do
Yeah.
so respectfully
Sorry.
and let them finish so.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. We will do that.
Rami,
Thank you, Your Honor.
I can understand you from up here, you asshole. Stop going ahead and yell it.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Can you hear me better?
No.
Not really.
Oh no.
Well, maybe just we'll see what happens. We'll let this ball roll. Go for it.
Let's see what happens. Okay.
That's not great.
Yeah, it's not helping.
Well, once again, we can go ahead and clarify if it needs to come to it. We can do so in a manner that everyone comes to a conclusion. We all understand the question. All right.
Your Honor,
We'll
defense
work with
just
what we have.
understood. Defense just asked that the witness take a couple extra seconds, not for objections, just so that we can take the time to ask if the question needs to be repeated.
All righty.
Thank you so much,
That's
Your Honor.
entirely acceptable. Go ahead.
All right. Did you conduct a further investigation?
Do you mind if I clarify? Are you talking about after that scene?
That's right.
Yes, there was an investigation after, in terms of questioning Mr. Braun. I cannot state, however, that I was present for the questioning after. I believe that would be Officer Kit Archer, who conducted questioning, as well as followed up on a 911 call that we were looking into.
Right, thank you so much, Officer DeGon. That's all the questions I have.
All right. Anyone else from the prosecution side?
I think I'm uncooking.
Can't hear you. Speak up.
No,
Say it,
I was letting him know if he can just write down the questions. I could ask him as well too.
All righty. Is there anything else from your side for questioning?
Really sucks, especially when you're like recovering.
That's it for the director. Thank you.
All righty.
Especially for something.
Oh, hey. The Vince. Your floor.
What's up, Rami?
How you doing today, Flop?
Doing great. You got wonderful hair. I gotta admit.
Thank you.
You letting it grow out?
Yeah. Now, Flop, you were the first responder on scene, right?
I was the first on scene, yes.
Can you
Oh,
describe
what?
to me the
AI
procedure
is
on
gonna
what
do
you
better
did
than
on
me.
scene? Not thoroughly, just, quick bullet pointed.
Bullet pointed? Sure. So I arrived on scene, like any other scene where I suspect a crime was committed, especially this one where gunshots were reported. I did exit my vehicle with my firearm.
It's the wrong.
I did
It's
a
the wrong
brief
sim.
clearing of the scene and immediately ran over to tend to wounds to Mr. Braun. I had another officer help fully clear the scene while I tended to wounds. I then conducted a GSR test after EMS was called. Once the GSR test came back positive, I frisked Mr. Braun. Once Mr. Braun was frisked and I felt the bulge, I proceeded to check for the bulge in which the firearm was found. Mr. Braun was then placed in cuffs about the same time EMS arrived on scene.
Were you the arresting officer? Like, you're the one who charged him and sent him away to jail, or?
Oh.
He was never sent to jail.
Right. Okay. So what? He was taken to the cells and then let go, correct?
No. Well, yes and no. He was incapacitated on scene. He was unresponsive. After EMS had taken him, and I asked for his condition, they also claimed that they have had no answer. So he was brought directly to Crusade Medical, where he was put into intensive care until he was subsequently released once his health was back in good shape.
Okay.
Hey, what's up?
Now, on the prosecution side, you were charging my client here with criminal possession of a government-issued firearm, correct?
I believe that's the only charge, yes.
Can you read to the courts the penal code for government criminal possession of a government-issued firearm?
Speaking up here, with your questions, make sure you're not asking the answer during your questions. All right?
Your Honor, it's not being objected.
I want to
I
object, but I
understand.
don't want to be here for 4 hours.
No,
so.
I'm just saying. I'm just giving a blanket statement here because some of them already could have been. I'm just letting you know. Just make sure to keep it open with it. All right?
Of course.
Your Honor, aren't we
ask
allowed
the
to lead on
answer.
cross?
Yes, we are.
He's
Established
questioning.
everything. He's putting the words into their
I
mouths, so let's
understand.
go
I
ahead.
understand.
That's fine.
I
Go
understand.
ahead, Robbie. Continue. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I don't think that's even been asked in court, to be honest.
This court case is gonna
The
have to
penal
be
code for criminal possession of a government-issued firearm?
Yeah.
Flop, can you read the penal code out for a criminal possession of a government-issued firearm for courts?
Sure thing. Your Honor, do I have permission to grab my MDT and read it verbatim?
Yeah, let's go for it.
See, I'm the type that would not stand for this shit. I'd be like, I know how to read. Move along.
No, you're way worse now.
Yeah, it's fine.
Criminal possession of a government-issued firearm. It is illegal to possess a government-owned or issued firearm without being a sworn duty peace officer who's currently on duty or off duty. This includes firearms that law enforcement officers purchase for their sworn daily duties.
Okay. Without being a duly sworn peace officer. Now, would you agree that a peace officer is a civil officer appointed to preserve law and order?
I believe an officer is put in duty to protect and serve.
It's a yes or no question. I said
Objection, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Scope.
Rebuttal.
It's within the penal code.
You're asking his responsibilities as an officer. You're
No,
also
I
going
said
on
it-
a
Chat,
penal
this
code
should be
today.
a
What-
cut and
where are you going
drive,
with this, sir?
like,
Ronnie?
guilty,
It's
pretty much.
a
There's no
peace
defense
officer
here.
is described in the penal code of the charge that my
Robbery
client is being charged
call, shots call,
Here,
possession.
go ahead, all rule of objection. Go ahead, Rami.
Not much you can do here. According to them.
with. A yes or no question here, Flop.
Mhm.
Would you agree a
GSR.
civil officer or a peace officer is someone who's appointed to preserve law and order, correct?
Sure, you could say that.
Okay. That would mean a cop, right?
Sure.
Okay. A judge. You would agree a judge preserves law and order, right?
I wouldn't call him a peace officer.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you, does a judge preserve law and order?
Sure, Rami. A judge preserves law and order.
Now, a judge takes a sworn, they take a swear to the oath.
This
right?
defense
Before
is
they,
brain dead.
when you go to the
What
bar,
is he
you gotta swear
cooking?
that you're gonna, perform your duties to protect law and order to the people. Correct?
Can you
Oh,
ask your
no.
question again?
Did you take a swearing to preserve law and order when you became an officer?
Objection, Honor.
Thing is, how would a
Again, what does this
judge
have to do
know?
with anything we're talking about today?
In
How
law,
would he
you
know
always
what
go
Your
with the
Honor, I'm
fucking
just
rockets
breaking down
first, and then you go down in
the
severity.
charge
Yeah.
that my client got charged with.
If
That's
this
not
the
his-
best he's got,
That's not his.
this, like, he's a judge, he should
It's
maintain
like
peace with a gun from the
expanding
PD.
upon the definition of a sworn peace officer, to which Mr. Dugong gave a definition
That's
that
just
is involved
GG.
with the penal code, where that is a actual statement within the code. It is still within scope because he is referring back to that statement and allowing the questions to expand based upon that. And I will allow that line of questioning to continue.
Understood.
Alrighty.
You mind asking your
Yeah,
question
sure.
again?
Did you take an oath when you became a cop?
Yes, we all do.
And you took an oath to protect and serve, correct?
I did.
And
Well,
you
Your
took an
Honor,
oath to-
again, objection. He's testifying for the witness, saying correct, not allowing the witness
Your Honor,
to
I'm
answer the
leading,
question.
which I'm allowing to lead on a
But
cross.
why would you say correct after asking a question?
I don't know. I'm shut up.
Go ahead, Your Honor. I'll let you take this one.
Listen, let's
It's cooked.
keep it.
He's guilty.
Don't put
GG.
the correct out there if you could, just for own purpose.
Yeah, sure. No worries. It's just a bad habit,
It's-
Your Honor. That's all.
Yes, I understand you want to get
Your
your
Honor,
point across.
apologies. Romy picked that habit up from Oliver.
I'm still speaking. All right, Mr. Rami,
Yes.
just ask the question. Be done.
Sure. Your Honor, my apologies. I was just taken after the prosecution.
I'm so
Um, Can you read me my last question? What I ask?
It was
You're-
if you
you're
take an
asking
oath
me?
when you became
No,
a
no,
cop.
I'm talking to
is
the-
questions that you're asking. Mr. Kermit, go ahead if you have everything else written down.
Yeah, the most
Apologies,
recent
there are times when
question.
my thoughts have to
Oh no, that's
understand
okay.
both sides.
The most recent question Rami asked was, where are we? Did that oath require you to swear to protect and serve?
You mind answering that for me?
Well, he already answered. He said yes.
Okay. And the question I asked after that, before Leo objected, would you know what that was or no?
No, that was the question he interrupted. Like he interrupted.
Okay.
Flop's,
Oh, okay,
answer.
okay. And Flop already answered yes.
Yeah, he interrupted Flop's answer, but he said yes.
Okay. Now,
You guys, I know where this is going. He's gonna useless. Like, this does not cook at all. Like,
Hello.
So you would agree that a judge before swearing under oath and being and serving as one in the city, they take an oath to preserve law and order as well.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation. He's not a judge. He's a cop.
It's not, I don't think so. It's not expecting.
I don't think that's speculation. That's not speculatory, Your Honor, but
Opinion of a lay person. What the hell you, whatever you call it.
Oh, there we go. Hey.
Would you like to rebut there, Rami?
yeah, I can talk to my team here and if they can allow me to rebut it.
Wait, is he doing speculation or layperson?
You're a layperson. Was the
Honor,
last
can we
one
have a
before that.
Can we have clarification since the Captain Slack stated 2 objections, so we understand which objection we're rebutting here?
Once again, just to repeat myself, objection of a lay person.
Perfect. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Opinion of a lay person.
It's fine.
Layperson of the opinion.
It's fine, Your Honor. No worries. No worries, Your Honor. You can sustain it.
Alrighty.
Not you can.
Question withdrawn. Go ahead.
Okay.
Continue.
I'll withdraw.
Strike that from the record there, Camry.
Don't.
Honestly, I think it's pretty covered. I think I've been on-
It has been stricken.
About a mask.
Alrighty.
What he was
Rami.
wearing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anything
Now,
else?
can you describe to me what the defendant here was wearing at the scene?
Sure. To the best of my recollection, I believe there's a piece of evidence showing it. It has not been referred to. Would I have permission to find that piece of evidence, Your Honor? If not, I can.
Sure, it's in the
I can go
evidence
off
right
of
now. It's
recollection.
under IX or 9.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll go based on
Go ahead
my
and refer to that.
recollection. Okay. Okay.
No,
That works.
Your Honor. You refer to the article 9.
Here,
attached
over
evidence.
there.
I'm saying like the answer is he doesn't remember.
Sure.
He needs to look at the lineup or whatever.
When I initially arrived on scene, the first thing I noticed
he's just
was
like,
Her room is missing the big screen.
He is.
gray suit jacket with the gray pants.
We're working on getting a
and
projector
At
in
the time
here.
of that
We need
photo,
the
it was the same gray jacket, gray pants with the black undershirt,
Okay.
no hat.
Maybe
And
we can
was he wearing a
replace one of
mask?
these generic portraits on the wall here.
No, I was able to
God, I
identify
know his
Murphy Brown.
portraits are horrible.
Okay.
And you know what? They're all men.
That's true.
Okay. So, did you have any inclination that he was, outside doing crime in the city, given your experience as a peace officer?
Just to clarify, are you asking me to assume that he was out doing other crime, or are you talking about this scene that I responded to?
That scene.
Based on the calls that we received, anyone that was back on the scene, I, in good faith, followed the proper process that I would with anybody that I would find on any scene relating to related calls.
Did you take any ballistics on scene? Did you find any casings or anything?
Non-responsive to that.
Like I stated about 3-4 times now, there was no physical evidence on scene.
Hey, we're good, buddy. Let's go.
That is all.
Alrighty. Anyone else
Uh,
from the
sorry.
prosecution?
Your Honor, I have one more question.
I'll be back.
You didn't like that court case?
I think the line of questioning will last a long time, but it's not going anywhere. So we'll be back whenever it's like they're past that. Because bro, I don't even understand that train of thought is not cooking shit. Like,
Who, like Rami?
yeah, this is not going anywhere. I think
Who do you think is leaning towards right now? Do you think it's leaning towards the cops or Rami?
they probably thought they were cooking in there, and then they got into the stand, and I think they were like, yeah, this is over. Like as soon as they got there.
Why did he say that he has another person that he's working with that has the same charge?
I have no idea.
What was the throw? What was that? I'm not
Like,
whispering.
bro, he's like fucking trying to argue that since you're a judge, you serve law and order, and you help the people that you should have a gun because that's what the police have. Like, no, it's PD issued. Like, it's not about what you do as a job and the motive behind it or what it does.
Yeah.
It's police department gun. He doesn't work for the PD. Like, there are many PDs in one city or a country. Like, You don't.
A good
say-
take.
You're not gonna have a gun from all departments because fuck it, I'm a judge. Like that's just not how that works. It's just not. He's not cooking.
Here's the head of bar office.
Excuse me, officers.
Hello.
Do you want me to call Budo and let him know?
Yeah. I mean, he called me, right? Should I call him back?
Yeah, you should call him because he keeps calling me a fucking secretary, and the disrespect, the audacity is insane. I'm not a fucking secretary. I'm the
Yeah, I got that.
COO of the company. Motherfuckers disrespect.